All right, welcome. Whether you're watching this now, tomorrow, or sometime into the future, let us paint. To paint or not to paint, it's not even a question. To live, to thrive, and not to paint. It's not even a question. Whether to live or to thrive. All right, let's see. I'm going to rotate this a little bit so that we can get some better lighting on this. There we go. Yo, Omizu, first one in. What's up? There we go. Omizu. Omizu. We need an Omizu theme song. Omizu should get a theme song. He really should. To paint or not to paint, that is not even a question. We are going to paint. There's no question about it. Got a little free day today. So what are we going to do with our time? We're going to get after it. We're going to paint like today could be the last day I ever paint again, which is not the case. But, you know, why not? Why not treat every painting like it's your greatest masterpiece? All right, let me knock off some paint boogers here. We're going to knock this little paint booger off. See if there's any other paint boogers here. There's a paint booger right here. No, that's okay. That's an okay paint booger. I'm wondering about the size of the head. I feel like the head's a little too small. But anyway, we are here. How's it going? Yes, we're going. You know, I feel like the beginning of a painting, especially if it's a more serious one, can sometimes be result in some nervousness. So this hand should definitely not be bigger than the head, which means our head is a little bit too small. I feel like our head's a little bit too small. But let's go ahead and start to add some details here. I'm going to start painting in some details. I'm going to use a kind of brush. Let's use a filbert, a thicker filbert brush here. We're going to use this nice thick filbert brush. And let's see here. So we want to paint in some colors. Let's go. Let's drop in our gambling. Oh, you know what? Let me find another white. Have we finished our Georgian white, our tube of Georgian white here? I don't think so. Did I already finish my tube? No, here we go. I'm going to drop in our Georgian white. Drop down right here. Get our color palette back to where it was. Get our white down. Still got some wet burnt sienna, so we're going to leave that. And let's see. Got some yellow ochre. Use a small tube of yellow ochre here. And you know, I do want some purple. Let me use this Gamblin. You know what? We're gonna use a cobalt violet. Use some cobalt violet here. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Lay down some violet there. What else? We need some nice natural skin tones, so we're probably gonna need a yellow ochre. Let's try to grab the yellow ochre. Yellow ochre. Let's see. How come it is so hard to find some yellow ochre? That should be like the most common, one of the most common colors in a kit. Let's do our Gamma 1980 ochre. This is yellow ochre. Yes, it is. Maybe I put it with browns. I don't know. All right. Let's get some brown or get a yellow ochre laid down here. Maybe even some burnt sienna. Might be a nice color. This is when we get serious. Get serious about our painting. Let's find some burnt siennas here. So some brown. Nope, that's black. That's ivory black. I need a burnt sienna. Let's look in here. There we go. A burnt umber. Burnt umber is what I was looking for. So we're just laying down our color palette right now. Some burnt umber. And maybe a hint of red. So a little speck of red here. Here we go. What red should we use? Let's use the heck out of our blush color. Blush is a great color. And now our goal, I think, is to really just tighten up some of these areas here. I want to enlarge the head. Enlarge the head, start to add some details. And let's just go ahead and just do that with a nice like big brush here. I'm gonna grab our blush color, mix it with our white, add some mineral spirit here, and let's go ahead and get to it. So why did I use this really dark color? Honestly, I just love, maybe I love it too much, but I love like really experimenting with you know, what are the limits of oil paint? And when I say that, I mean, when it comes to layering, I have this, you know, hypothesis, right? My hypothesis is that any painting, any oil painting, the benefit of oil is that it's so forgiving in the sense that as long as you give it enough time to layer and add layers, that you can make pretty much anything in the sense of like, if I want to turn this into a more like classic, like properly painted piece, I probably could. So that's my hypothesis. I don't always test it out, but I do often paint on top of like ugly black or brown or like really muddy puke color canvases that I did from a like green and yellows, and you know I've worked from those canvases before, and sometimes the results turn out pretty good. So I also know that, you know, having some dark colors underneath can be good, like certain colors. So, you know, I just like to push these ideas, and just see where we could take them. Have you headed out of here?
Not now.
Oh, okay. So we're just gonna go ahead and start blending in some of our lighter colors. Just, you know, a nice little thin layer here. Nice thin little layer. Nice thin layer, even enough to mess with what the color underneath here. Actually, I could probably bring this down. Let's bring it down a little bit. If I'm working on a face, right, it makes sense to work on a face at face level. And I think the cat's head's a little too big, but whatever. We all know that in classical paintings that people usually made heads like really weirdly shaped. Right? Like why? Here's a question. Why was classical art, I'm talking art from like before Renaissance, like pre-Renaissance, why was it so forgiving to make really like oddly shaped heads? But today, you really can't make like, you know, someone with an egghead shape and not have people like criticize it. You know what I'm talking about? Like in the classic paintings where everybody looks like an alien, right? Just like a bald alien. And people got away with that, right? Like people would paint for churches and like churches and all these different organizations, and they could do it. They could do it because it was acceptable back then. I mean, they were still beautiful in my opinion, but as far as like comparing to the reference, you know, the modern concept of comparing to the reference, looking at the reference, it doesn't look exactly like the reference. And the other thing is like, you know, those people who were painting back then, they were probably just as rigorous as any artist today, just as rigorous, maybe even more.
Thank you.
So we're gonna come down here and we're gonna start to. Huh?
I mean, Poopy. Talking to the poopster. We're not gonna open the tea. Ow. Ow. No claws. No claws.
Let's start to see how this all comes together. We're gonna go start to blend in these shadows. Let's get the eyelid right here. We're gonna zoom in even a little bit further. And let's just start to go into this. What if, and I'm gonna get a little really controversial here, so if you're very religious, please stop watching at this very second. But what if God was a cat? Here's a question. What if God was a cat? Obviously outrageous, obviously whatever. But what if? Probably not. However, this painting might make you question things. Or not, I don't know. But let's see, we're gonna go paint this in. Let's actually just apply this layer real quick. Let's get this layer down nice and easy. Nice light layer. Let's add our white highlight. Try to find a little bit of red. Let's find a nice deep blush here. Just gonna add the lips like right here. Nose is gonna end like right there, so make the lip just a little bit bigger. Spooky! Spooky! Stop!
What's she doing now?
She's biting the cable.
Ooh, today.
Chewing on our electric cables, which is not good. These cats need discipline. Who shall discipline our cats? Not me.
The cat disciplinary. Where is Jackson?
Where is a cat disciplinarian when you need
Jackson
them?
Galaxy.
Jackson Galaxy? Is he a cat personality guy?
Yeah, he's a cat whisperer.
Oh.
There's a show.
Oh.
It's called My Cat from Hell. I applied, but...
I don't think our cats are bad enough.
Well, no, that's what he said. He said,
Oh, they actually replied to you?
yeah. I told him about Simba. And he said, yeah, we want something more exciting.
I think the whole world wants something more exciting.
Well, he's a problem. He's a problem. Isn't there a movie called that?
What?
Problem Child?
Probably.
Yeah, with, who's the comedian? What is his name?
Chris Tucker?
No, 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 older guy.
And honestly, these eyes probably need to be a little bit further apart. Where the lips end is where the eye should start. So we're gonna go push these just a little bit further back. And here we go. What'd you say?
Cover it.
And let's go right into here. Try to round out her face a little bit.
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
So he did a movie called The Problem Child?
I think so. He's considered one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time.
Yeah.
No, you can't have it. He's passed away.
Is he dead? Oh,
2005.
really?
Yeah.
I feel like his name's like still around. His brand.
What's that? He's still around.
I feel like his brand is like still highly used. Like it's still around, you know?
He's not. I think blew up his face. Smoking crack.
He blew up his face?
Well, he was
Is that what you said?
Yeah. It was a butane lighter and it exploded in his face.
I have not heard about that, but okay.
I think he was on an airplane when it happened. Not a good look for him. I could be wrong. That movie became was very hilarious. He became like a nanny
Yeah.
for a rich kid.
Okay.
Yeah. But because he was such a weirdo himself, he actually was able to manage the kid.
Oh, yeah?
Like nobody else could.
All right, and here we go. We're gonna go bring this down, and start to add the highlight to these fingers.
Oh. Okay, it's done. Not before. Tore up from the floor up. Good? Sorry, Molly.
Let's get this hand right here. This thumb actually looks absurdly long. So I'm going to reduce the length of it somehow. Yo, what's up, Dave? Shirohiro, Dave. So Omizu, oh yeah, by the way, Omizu, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I pretty much, I'm gonna make, Omizu's, what do you call that thing again? Where people chat? Discord. I'm gonna make Omizu's Discord the official Discord of Hazard Creative. So if anyone asks, that's the answer. What Discord am I using? I'm using Omizu's. I am using Omizu's Discord. You don't need to make me a mod. I don't want to be a mod. The last thing I want to do is be moderating. Because the thing is like, I really, I don't know. I mean, if you want to make me mod, you can, but... But I just don't actually see myself doing anything as a mod, so. How should I wrap his tail? Scout, how would you hold your tail in this photo? Show me. Scout, do something with your tail, bro. Scout? You listening to me? And look at all my cats. Look at all our cats. Look at all our cats. There they are. Just cats chilling on a couch. Scout, do something with your tail, dude. What would you do with your tail in a painting like this, huh? What about you, Fern? Yeah? Yeah, show me something. Do a trick.
Hold him the same way you hold him.
I can't, I got gloves on. Why are you so dusty? Mr. Scout, huh? Why are you so dusty? Alright, let's see. What would he be doing with his tail? Let's go. That tail's a little long, huh? It's a bit of a long tail. Maybe a little bit shorter on the tail there. And a little bit thicker. Tail needs some more density. We should end right around here. We don't need to give him too long of a tail. Oh, OP's live. Clicked on OP's live the other day and he was hugging his cat while you stream. I was yelling at it and then telling it to get away from my painting. Yes, they do not. Cats still have not understood the nature of painters. Loving one moment, and yelling at it to go away another moment. But define yelling. Define yelling. There's yelling, and then there's loudly using a goofy loud voice so your cats get annoyed and run away. I was probably doing more of the latter. Like there's yelling and then there's like Adam Sandler yelling. I just saw Happy Gilmore 2, by the way. Good movie. I would recommend Happy Gilmore 2. If you want to see a movie, if you're looking for a good movie, Happy Gilmore 2. You know, I'm going to be honest, at this point I'm kind of curious like if I'll be able to save this painting. Because it does have so many issues with it, like at this point. I just want to prove my thesis. My thesis being that that you can take pretty much any oil painting and make something of it if you have enough time and if you put in the work to it. Which that's my thesis for this. Is pretty much with enough time. With enough time, you can make this work. And you know what? Here's the reality of like art, though, is that most people don't really have enough time. So I think the fact that I do this, like I could cut my painting time down by like 60%, at least more than half, if I just wanted to be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to sketch this out first. I'm going to spend extra time on the sketch, transfer it, and then paint in the lines. And I could probably cut down my time by like an absurd amount of time, by like a half hour for every, yeah, you know, like 20 minutes for every hour spent. But I'm a little stubborn, and I like to do things. I like the idea that underneath every painting that I have is like this interesting, expressive little thing. This interesting, expressive painting. So let's go into the eyes here, and we're gonna give these little beady eyes.
Okay.
One day I'll catch you yelling at one of your cats. Wife and you watched that recently. It's a good watch. What do I do when someone comes in my workplace and 2 chunks of turds fall out of their shorts? Oh man. Ooh. What do you do? Well, I guess it depends on what your job is. You know, I guess if it's if they're your boss, you help them, you know, clean it up. If you work at Comedy Central, you probably make fun of them. You make some videos about it. Wait and see if someone steps on it. That's another option. If you're the governor, if you're the governor of Los Angeles, you just leave it and wait for somebody to finally report it and then do something. That wasn't a jab. I mean, that was kind of a jab at Governor Newsom, but not really. I think the city does a good job. It has lately been doing a better job of maintaining its managing its homeless problem. Governor Newsom. You know what's interesting though? There's probably small towns where you can't actually make fun of the governor because they're like, it's probably run by like the mafia. Right? The governor's probably in the mafia's pockets.
They're coming for you.
Huh?
They're coming for you now.
No. Well, hopefully Newsom isn't in the pockets of the mafia. But you never know. You never know these days with everything. Someone else pointed it to you because you couldn't see it from behind the desk. Someone dropped 2 scoops of chunky fudge. So it's actually ice cream. Ah, well there you go. So the story unfolds. That would be a great episode of St. Denis Medical. Anyone ever watch St. Denis Medical? It's a TV show. I worked on it a couple weeks ago. Oh, they were turds. I've cleaned up turds before. When I worked at a water park, every day, all the lifeguards would have to clean the bathrooms, and at least once, well, more than once, but at least the most memorable time was someone didn't make it to the toilet, and they literally just left a huge, huge turd just in front of the toilet. They didn't even make it. And sometimes I wonder if it was just like a prank, right? They were like, because it was like a adult sized. It was an adult sized poop, and for an adult to like drop it right in front of the toilet, like that's gotta be. That's malicious, That is clearly a act of malice perpetrated by an adult human being. So our park did get a lot of special needs people. So unless it was a special needs person, then I guess technically, I guess we could forgive it. But I don't know. I mean, maybe even then, like I think special needs people are much smarter than we sometimes give them credit for. Much more conscious and aware of their surroundings and, sometimes right or wrong. Not always, but, I believe in them. I believe in people with special needs and, their abilities to function in society in a normal way. So, I don't know, but it must have been done with malice. All right, so yo, Joshua, look at that. All right, Joshua. Yes, the day is going beautifully because I get to paint. Yeah, sorry, Omizu, man. It's not a good start to the day, right? This painting is starting to look like a calligraphic painting. Calligraphic painting.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any other shitty stories? Excuse my language. Just gotta, you know, when the opportunity arises, when the feeling arises, the opportunity is there. You must take it.
Simba, up to you on the road. Feel like you know all the time. Run to the bathroom. Used to have more little rugs.
Did you start throwing a bunch out?
Probably.
Well, there you go. There's your answer. Emmett, am I done with the other piece? No, I'm not. The other piece is still in the works, but just I just had to start another one. I got when you know when the inspiration strikes, sometimes you just gotta, you know. And I was starting to feel like I'm almost done with the other piece. So you know, when inspiration strikes and you're starting to move, get ready. You know, it's good to just have something else for yourself when the time comes. When inspiration strikes, get started, right? Josh, what do you mean you want to use this piece and repaint it for yourself? You mean like take the idea of uh of the virgin with the cat? Yeah, I mean, if you want to do the virgin with the cat, go for. I mean, sure, why not? Why not? Smart. Which is this cat gonna eat you? It might. You never know. Well, boy, Omizu getting so descriptive here. That was this was a moment. The moment that Omizu Omizu's really going all in on the description of his day, but you know, I don't blame him because he's an artist, you know. Artists need to be able to describe the sensations of things. That's what makes great artists great, right? They're able to describe things. Alright, this brush can only take me so far. By the way, I promised this last night. But does anybody have a promo that they want to do? Does anybody want to promote their own art? I know Shiro said that they have art, that they're an artist. And I promised the last night that I would do it. So if you're over the age of 18, if you're over 18 or older, and you want to plug your artwork, let me know your Instagram. If you're over the age of 18 and you want to plug your artwork, please feel free to plug it right now. Because I'm going to have to take my gloves off. And when I take my gloves off, it's game on, game off. We'll be taking a break from painting for a few. So Shiro, if you wish to share, let me know. Anybody can let me know. We are open to promoting people's work. And you know, let's do a quick even if you don't want to promote your work, but you want others to follow you or you want to follow others, then you know, plug your ats, plug your social media here. And you know, I'm not saying everyone has to do follow for follow. I think how this should be done is that if anybody follows you, there should be no expectation of a follow back. I think it's not fair when that happens, right? But you know, don't get your, you know, don't have too many expectations, right? So anyway, the less you expect, the more. What, Pookie? Look at this. Who wants to see my cat? Look at her. Here's what I'm looking at right now, this insanity. What do you want, lady? You gonna talk to me? How come you're quiet now? Why are you quiet now, Pookie? Say something. She's the most talkative cat until the camera gets on her. I think she's definitely not camera shy. Is that right, Pookie? Yeah. Yeah. You're not camera shy, right? You love looking pretty for the camera. Yeah, look at her. She's blinking at everybody. She loves y'all. Doing a little kitty blink. Hmm? About to take a nap, little lady? Little lady? You napping? This is her bed, by the way. It's our dining table is her bed. So I don't know. Some people think that's disgusting. Is it disgusting for your cat to use the for your cat's main area of living to be the dining room table. We eat off this table, by the way. You know that, Pookie? Is that right? You own the dining table. Huh? Anything else? Would you like to make an announcement? Share some motivational words? All right. I think she's ready for her nap time. Okay, back to painting. Yo, later, Dave. So, Shiro, do you want us to... Shiro, do you want to plug your cats? Do you want to... do you want to plug your manga? If you want to plug your manga, please let us know. And we will totally support... We will all support your manga. If you want to share your manga, go ahead. Actually, you know what? I can't promise that we will all support it, but I can promise that at least some of us will. Alright, let me see. There's a lot of info in this painting. And I'm trying to find a good place from which to focus. Let me grab a brushy brush. And we're going to... Yeah, okay, well, hey, let us know where we can find your manga. Just either... Oh, my big role? It wasn't a big role, but... Oh, you mean on St. Denis Medical? It wasn't a big role. I don't know. It might be like this upcoming season of St. Denis Medical. My kitty. My kitty. Yo, Azraya. How's it going, Azraya? Welcome back. It's been a while. If you have any projects, any recent things that you want to plug, please feel free to. Let's go. I think her headpiece is a little too small. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to start to build up the colors of the face here some more. TikTok's been keeping me busy. TikTok is amazing. TikTok is amazing for building an audience. I would do it more, but I started with YouTube, so therefore I feel like, it's really hard for me to just like leave YouTube.
time is 11:36 a.m.
Probably even bring this nose down a little bit more. Is Raya getting famous? Is Raya getting famous on TikTok? Let's hope so. Let's. You know, in a second, I'm gonna pull up Raya's TikTok and see how's it going. I'm gonna do a follow on there in a few moments. Let me just paint this one section. I just can't keep up with TikTok. That's my thing, is trying to keep up with TikTok is just TikTok just moves so fast.
Mr. Simba.
It's not a whoa thing, but you put on here why YouTube, your main character of your manga, just to spoil a little bit. All right, here we go. Let's do some promos right now. Let's see who needs a channel promo. Everybody does. Everybody wants their channels promoted. I mean, obviously Omizu's. You know, I should probably do promos like every hour on the hour. That would make this channel interesting, or more interesting. Look at all these gloves I have. Huge pile of gloves. Gotta throw them away. So Israya, the only Israya I could find is Israya Santiago. I'm guessing that's you. Is that you? Let's see, Israya S. Israya's World, Israya's Official. There's Israya, just Israya. There's Ezrisaya. Ezraya Na. Let's see, is this Healing Out Loud? Oh yeah, okay. I think that's you. There we go, Healing Out Loud. All right, so just Ezraya Santiago. Everyone can follow that page, talking about the good old mental health and starting a TikTok shop. Great. How's that TikTok shop going? How is it? How's the TikTok shop? Very cool. I think Ezraya also does art too. So there we go. Here, just my TikTok follow. Oh, Tarico's on there too. Of course, Tarico's the first person that pops up.
Fun if you don't see it.
He's the first person that pops up when you when I follow Azraya. So there we go. All right, Tarico just got to follow too. By the way, Tarico used to come in here more often to this live stream. He pops in every once in a while, but either way, let's follow Tarico. And then let's go to, let's see, who needs follows today?
Right there. Cute boy, Scout. So cute.
You know what's funny is like, follows, he is famous. Tarico's famous. There we go. Yes. Tarico is famous. All right, so let's go to our next one. So, Shirohiro. Shirohiro. How do I get to Shirohiro? So Shirohiro wanted us to visit their YouTube channel. So anybody, don't feel obligated to stay in this stream. You can, you know, totally, definitely leave the stream and go visit Shirohiro's. If you want to see their, if you want to see their characters. All right, so they do like 3D. So Shirohiro is like 3D characters. All right, very cool. 3D is actually, so I guess they're doing like a fan art of Blackpink with a 3D character. I don't know how that works, but very cool. Very interesting. This is like new age. I mean, this is like the future, right? The future of like like art is well, not art, but like online videos, just these characters. What do they call it? VTubing or something? So I guess that's the idea. All right. So Shirohiro is like a VTuber, I guess. I don't know. And who else? Let's see. I think you just tap their name and then, you know, you can check it out or whatever. Oh yeah, hold on. Before I forget. Here we go. Just got subscriber number 20. Subscriber, well, it should be number 20. It said 19 a second ago and I just subscribed, so it should be 20. All right, of course, everybody, you just tap their name and then you click, I think you should just be able to click go to their channel. Shirohiro right there, they're typing. Maybe you're not seeing the chats. Let's see, we're in all messages. Obviously, Omizu, Joshua Harvey, I think he left. Old school Dave is probably still here looking at stuff. I don't know. Number 21. There you go. All right, cool. There we go. You know what would be cool is if you could just like have this, just do this with like everybody on the planet. You know what I mean? Like if you could just, if everybody on the planet would just be like, yeah, I'll follow you, follow me. That'd be good, right? Everybody would have 8 billion followers in the world. Or everybody who wanted it would have 8 billion followers. But we know that is not the way of the world. And whatever. Okay, let's get back to painting. We'll probably do this in a couple phases. Start with the start with a couple hours this morning or this afternoon, and then we'll go to take a little break here in a little while. Windsor Newton. Hey, congrats, Josh. Congrats on working on what you desire, what you so desire. To do some oil painting. Here's what I wonder right now. Will I be able to save this painting? Will I be able to save this painting? We shall see. As of right now, it's not looking too it's not looking too likely. But you never know. I had to elongate her nose a little bit, and then now we're gonna go give her some new lips. Creating pieces, that's how you do it though, right? We all gotta start somewhere. We all gotta make stuff. So Joshua, just hypothetically speaking though, let's just say you had a channel or had a whatever, and you already had a portfolio of something in your life. What it would be? Obviously it sounds like your painting would be a fairly new thing. But let's say hypothetically, you started doing some activity. What would your socials all be about? Yo, Strawberry Core. There's a newly familiar face. Or there's a newly familiar word. I guess I don't see faces, so not really a face. But there's a regularly familiar word. So I'm doing a painting about a cat. Who wants to see my cat licking himself? He's taking a little bath over there. He just wants to groom in privacy, but gets no privacy. There's no privacy for cats. Oh, there he goes. He's trying to get his backside. He's a very flexible cat, this guy. Very flexible cat. Very clean too. He gets dusty, but he always cleans it up. When you're a kid, you want to create jackass content, and then art has been in your life for a while since you were a kid. You like, oh, you want to hear, Josh? You want to hear a? So, I worked on a movie. I don't know if I can actually share this, but I worked on a movie and I got to meet Johnny Knoxville. I was within 2 steps in a scene with Johnny Knoxville, and he did. All I could say is that he did a stunt, but I can't share which stunt. So if you see any new movies coming out that has Johnny Knoxville in them, I can't say which one right away. But if you see any movies with Johnny Knoxville in it coming out, you might catch me in it. But he wasn't like a main character. So, I don't even know like how he's going to get his credit for it. Whether he's going to like the thing is if he's a main character, if you just looked up what movies is Johnny Knoxville in right now, you would probably find something. But I don't think he was a main character. So, his appearance might not be obvious to the media. So I just want to share that. You might not be able to find her like just on an easy search, but yeah, he did a wild stunt right in front of me. So that was pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, when it comes out, I will totally be happy to like promote the movie, even if I don't end up showing up. I had such a small part in this major project. I probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they cut me out of it. But I did get to work on it. And here's the thing. The reason why you can know that I worked on it was because, I don't know, I know it's going to happen. But who knows? There's always like times when people cut scenes out and stuff. For me, seeing Johnny Knoxville, I was like, seeing Johnny Knoxville is better than like seeing Lady Gaga. For me, right? I mean, I love Lady Gaga. She's an amazing, talented artist. Probably one of my favorite musical artists. But at the same time, as someone who grew up on Jackass, I think seeing Johnny Knoxville for me was like seeing Elvis from back in the day, almost. Not quite, but almost. This neck is just looking so thick. I'm not liking what this neck is. But anyway, I think we could start to modify the face by using some some of our purple. Let's grab some of our royal purple color here and start to shape around. Start to shape around, create our shape here. There we go. Honestly, I'm gonna even make it a little bit bigger here because I want to elongate the head. Love cutscenes. What? Strawberry Core was in a movie with Ben Affleck and Jessica Chastain. That is awesome. Cutscenes. They shot a movie called Life After the After Party or something, and did most of the scenes they did thus side were cut out and redone in the States. Yeah. But it's fantastic business. I love it. Very worthwhile. With all the risks. Risks and rejection and long hours. Despite all of it. I love it all. I think I need a better brush for this. So we're gonna try to go, we're gonna get a brushier brush here. Let's go with a bigger brush. Honestly, this brush is way too big. Let's go ahead and actually just try to bring this down. Go around the neck. We're going to go around the neck here. Hookie, what are you grunting about? Oh, the staining power of cobalt. Pay you just a hush for a while. That's right. What yeah. No, it's one of those things. They just you know. But no hard feelings from me. I just like, I mean, you know, I could just, it's just great to work in the business. It's just so great. I wouldn't change it. By the way, is anybody here that wants to know the most simplest way? For those of you that don't, for those of you that are in the business, this is like the most basic way. This is like the first thing you learn about working professionally as an actor. But I'm actually going to show people how to get jobs as an actor right now, live. So if you've ever been curious about a career in acting, where's my phone? I'm about to share the secrets of Hollywood. By the way, these aren't really secrets because, the real, truly like big jobs are not always hired this way. So for those of you that are curious, we're about to reveal the secrets of Hollywood for everybody. So there's a website. This is the website right here, castingnetworks.com. LA Casting. And here you go. You're about to see some job posts right here that people would submit to. So look, some people are looking for young talent and for a commercial. They need a chef for a high-profile female rapper. There's rates and how much you get paid all up in here. Looking for teenagers, Asian men, 35 to 40. And these aren't, so the only problem with these roles right now that I'm sharing is they're not all like, these aren't speaking roles. These are just like, hey, if you want to work. So they need someone making faces for a Kohl's commercial. They need people to be in a yoga class. They need mascots. They need real baristas from Starbucks for a TV series. I don't know why they need real baristas, but whatever. So there we go. That is the secret to getting started in Hollywood if you really want to. That's all you need to do. LAcasting.com, castingnetworks.com. And they actually have this in like multiple cities. I don't know what sfcasting.com if you're in San Francisco. But yeah. That's how you get started. That's how most people get started. They just visit websites like this one. And they just apply until you get booked. So that's the secret, everybody. You didn't have to buy books or anything. That's how 99.9% of actors in Los Angeles get started. All right, you take care, Josh. Have a great day, dude. Wish you the best. What'd you say, Kat? No, I got it. All right. I've revealed the secrets of the business. They're not really secrets, by the way. If you ever move to Los Angeles, that'll be the first. That's going to be like the first website that everyone tells you to sign up to. It's not a secret. But to the rest of the world, if you've never gotten into the business, I could see how it would be. So, but I'm here to be helpful. So Mizu's question, is this an actual painting I'm referencing, or is it a composition of images? It's both. So there is a painting that I'm referencing, but there's also, I am also, using a composite of images here. All right, let's get this purple again. We're going to keep building up this purple. Did I build it in Photoshop? No. No, I didn't use Photoshop. It's literally just a photo of me. Here, look. Let me just show you the photo. Since Omizu seems to be accusing me of AI. By the way, I'm totally kidding. I don't think you're accusing me of AI. But I do assume that there's probably someone in the world thinking that I might have used AI for the reference. I'm not saying Omizu is thinking that, by the way. Let's see. Let me just show this photo that I made. I'll show my reference on this one. So here's my reference. My girlfriend, Kat, she took a photo of me. And that's it. This is my reference of me holding my cat. That's my reference. But no. So that's my reference for the cat. Now, I told you that I was composing this with another image. And here's the other image. So I wasn't revealing it yesterday, but I will reveal the source image, and it's called Virgin and Child, I believe. So this is the source image that we're working from. So the cat is different. I'm using her hand. But obviously you could see I actually cut off the body. So I'm not going to use the whole body. Or I'm not going to use the whole she's sitting in a chair and everything. But we are going to have some similarities. I'm changing the colors, obviously it's a cat instead of a child. It's a black cat instead of baby Jesus. So, there's some differences. Amizu, do you get annoyed when I use you as like my fake commentary, like, you know, if I'm just like, oh, Mizu said this, but not really. He didn't actually say that. Just cause you're here, I'm like, all right, who can I use as my voice of everybody? I have voices in my head, and they say things that I believe people on the internet might say, like criticisms and stuff. But Mizu is the voice of everybody. All right, there we go. Mizu is my scapegoat. So, not even a scapegoat. It's just the voices in my head consist of criticisms, commentary that might have never happened, but they also, some of them have happened. You know, like on Reddit, when I post on Reddit or see conversations, but not all of them. Not every conversation is something that I've heard or experienced. Alright, so let's keep going on. We're going to build this purple. We're going to use this purple to just really paint into our space here. Alright. Be careful what you ask for, Omizu. Be careful what tasks you choose to accept. Because you never know. Okay, so we're gonna go like this, bring out the roundness in the head here, and then bring it down, and then start to definitely looks like she doesn't have a neck, but this is gonna take a while. go ahead in here. We're gonna paint this down. A nice deep color into here. And I think this should be more straight down rather than curved. So let's go ahead and straighten this part of her neck out a little bit better. Let's just add a little bit of purple into the lips here. Let's get some eyes, a little bit of shadow into the eyes. Should be pretty even. Is that even? That is not even. That is totally crooked. This needs to be higher. Is that even? That looks more even. That's another issue, by the way. I think I stand at an angle on my canvas. Well, I definitely do for the sake of painting, and that causes me to work at like a weird angle, so therefore it'll be crooked. I'm blaming everybody for my problems. It's not my fault. I'm doing it for everybody. I'm doing this for y'all. Doing this. Kidding. Nobody's fault except mine. Nobody's fault except mine.
Scott's helping me organize my papers.
Oh yeah? How's he doing?
Yeah, he's biting them, tearing them, knocking them on the floor.
Okay.
Yes.
Well.
Changing their organizational piles in his own system. Very helpful. Very, very.
Maybe we can actually use some of this brown purple highlight. Let's actually mix in some green. Let's go green purple highlight. Let's actually use this for some of the shadow and just see what we get. I'm always curious to see what we get. You know, there's like experts in painting who know exactly what you're gonna get. You're probably gonna get a muddy mess. That's what they would probably say.
Alexa, what time is
And I almost know that that's probably what I'm gonna get. But I can't help myself but try it out.
Thank you. Sandra's.
To bring this as our shadow.
Dry. Right, Clement? Hurry up and dry.
I think her ears are way too low. Definitely way too low. Let's go grab this purple. We're gonna go really dark purple here. And get under her ears. Her should be really right above around the nose level. So right around here. Her ears should cut off right around there. Even a little bit higher. Go nice and dark with this color. It's really nice. Oh, sweet. Strawberry, are you gonna stream? Are you streaming? Probably not, huh? Probably would have said you were by now. Yeah, it's gonna be 90 degrees in like the next hour or two.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the air on. Look at my folders.
It's gonna be about 90 degrees in the next hour or so.
Yeah. This out. Always cleaning stuff out. My stuff. Cleaning my stuff. Took her longer than I've been any other place in my life.
Excuse me. That was a burp. All right, let me go. Let's get more of this color into it. We're gonna block in more of this color. So we're just gonna take a nice big chunk here, dip it in our mineral spirit, and just keep filling it in. What time do you have to go to Cassandra's? And then when you coming back? Huh?
About an hour later.
Oh, okay. What?
But try time. Some valleys, 10 or 15 minutes.
No, I was wondering if you wanted to go get lunch or something.
I do, but I can't go for that. Okay?
Yeah.
Babe,
Yeah, what?
is that okay, or do you need to go before that?
No, yeah, it's fine. Okay. Huh?
Starting to get a little hungry.
All right.
Sometime today.
Huh? Yeah, okay. Cool. So who's the girl in the painting? The girl in the painting is Madonna, Mary, the Virgin. And honestly, so this is based off a Bouguereau painting, which means that I don't actually, necessarily know who he used as models for these figures. Could have been anybody, but it feels like when I look at all of his paintings, I feel like Bouguereau used a lot of the same models, a lot of the same women in his artwork. Oh, he didn't want to ask. What didn't you want to ask? I wasn't gonna reveal it last night, but I'm revealing it tonight. So the reference is based on a Bouguereau painting. Is that what you were saying? Does that change your opinion of me, Omizu? Are you suddenly upset about this artwork? The fact that I would use the same artist twice for references? I did show the reference. I did show the reference though. I showed the reference. You could have guessed that it was Bouguereau just by the look of the painting, right? Like the character is not this painting, but the reference when I shared it. I mean, I wasn't hiding nothing today. Yesterday, I said I would keep it a secret, but today, I am totally sharing my references. Oh, right. Yesterday, you were thinking it was pre-Raphaelite. That's true, right. So you were wrong yesterday. But today, after you saw it, it's probably pretty close, huh? I mean, I think Bouguereau, if we really think about the art, right? There were probably lots of pre-Raphaelite influences on his painting.
Alexa, what time is it?
So you wouldn't be wrong.
It's 12:31 p.m.
It's like it's that whole idea of lineage, right? Like where did artists study? And if you really dig back long enough, you could find how influences I mean, technically, we all stem from the original handprint caveman, right? The guy who left his, or the girl, the guy or the girl that left their handprint on that cave. That's our lineage, and you know, for the very likely that one of us is probably related to that cave person. Out of the 8 billion people on this planet, I'd be willing to bet that there's somebody related to that person. I mean, at this point, the DNA might be so diluted that, you know, you might, it's like kind of pointless to even try and, you know, match up anything, but you know, anybody here now, here's my secret. I plan on doing a lot of Bouguereau studies. I spent a year, maybe less, maybe more, studying Vincent van Gogh's work. And I've decided that, you know, probably even longer, if you really add in, you know, the drawings, all the work that I put into some of the Berg drawing studies, which I consider part of the Vincent van Gogh studies. Like, I feel like you can't study Vincent van Gogh without studying Berg. Later, babe. You can't study Vincent van Gogh without studying Berg. You can, but you would be missing so much important info. The only catch is, though, there's such an abundance of information about Van Gogh, but there is not an abundance of information about Bouguereau. A lot of Bouguereau. So I looked up a reference book of Bouguereau. It was $1,000 for a Bouguereau, like the Masterworks of Bouguereau or something. It was $1,000. And it supposedly had like commentary and things like that, but I didn't buy it. But I was able to get like 30 books and audio tapes about Vincent. So in some ways, like really, really fun, nice, subjectively, you know, technically, classically trained art is really still gatekept in many ways. That's just my interpretation based on this one specific situation. It seems like people still play a really high value on Bouguereau style art. Because otherwise they wouldn't make that book $1,000, right? People still place a really high value on like Vincent van Gogh's work, but I don't know, where was I trying to go there? I think I was trying to go the route of like creating an argument that the super classical atelier style work is still very much so feels very ivory tower, based on the fact that Bouguereau's book is $1,000. He was a contemporary of the Pre-Raphaelites. There we go, yeah. That is a great way of putting it. We still have contemporaries of the Pre-Raphaelites, right? I think even my attempt to paint this would, you know, although technically not necessarily in the mastery of the skill, but doing enough of these paintings would probably put me in that category, right? I'm a contemporary of the Pre-Raphaelites just by using this imagery. Maybe not. I don't know. What constitutes? Does someone have to call you a contemporary, or can you just establish yourself and call yourself a contemporary? Have I heard of The Legend of Zelda? Of course I've heard of The Legend of Zelda. What's the question? What do you want to know? I'm not like a Legend of Zelda like expert, or even, I'm just, I don't even really know too much about it, but I've heard of it, of course. I feel like the only way you could have not heard about Legend of Zelda is if you're like under the age of 15. I'm postmodernist because I'm using. Oh, all right, fair enough. So, we are corrected. You're making art about Zelda? That's cool. Great. Fan art. If you want to make money, make fan art. If you want to make money, make art about famous people or recognized cartoons. And it's starting to get warm in here, so I'm going to turn on the air conditioning. So I'll be right back. You know what would be? So I've thought about it, of an interesting book. I would never write it, but like, not psychoanalysis. I'd like a better word than psychoanalysis, but reading, like analyzing people's personalities based on their artwork. I mean, you could take this in like the Freudian psychoanalysis route, right? Like instead of his book Interpretation of Dreams, it would be called Interpretation of Paintings. This painting looks so bad right now. Honestly, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to save this. I don't know if I'll be able to make this look good. I mean, I think it looks good right now, but to the extent that I want it to look, I don't know how capable I am. We'll see. Everything's so flat and messy. And you know what? Actually, I just put on some new gloves. I don't want to waste them, so I should do a little bit more painting. I'll do a little bit more. We'll push this a little bit further. This thumb looks really big, but it's just the way it is, so. I reject rigid rules and authority. I reject Cartman. That's who I reject. I reject Cartman. I'm actually only going to paint a little bit longer. I need to take a break. For longer pieces, like bigger pieces, pieces like these, I really need lots of breaks, because otherwise, I can really, you need to do it in phases. There we go. There's a cat. Cat Batman. Is it Batman or is it a cat? I think I want to give him little white teeth. Just to set little thing right here. How's that look? This looks like Donnie Darko now. Maybe I should just leave it like this. You know, one thing that's still pretty hard for me to grasp is the fact that cats' eyes are round. Just because they have like the shape, you know, because the way their eyelids are shaped is very distinct. But no matter what, no matter how their eyes are shaped, they still carry like a round, there's still a round eyeball in it. It is a rounded eyeball. Looks massive. Physics. I was in a gym earlier, but painting. If you explain yourself, is looking good. All right, cool. That I could finish this in a day. Yeah. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny that? Isn't that so hilarious that I could even possibly think that I would get anywhere near close to, making this. But here's the thing though, there are some artists. There are actually some artists that can actually make this look really good in a quick amount of time. Not myself, but there are some artists that would like actually have this, pretty well developed within like a few hours, I would say. No, it would be well developed. Maybe not like really nice. Maybe not totally, mastered, but really nice. I don't know if it's endearing or if it's just amusing naivete. Right? You're probably not in. Are you actually endeared, or do you just find it amusingly naive? Childishly naive to think that this could be complete in a day. I mean, honestly, I feel like if I had my stuff down really, really well, if I, practice the technique of taking, what's it called? Taking transferring the image and then painting over the image. I think I could get this much further along in a day. But since I'm not doing that, since I choose to do this the harder way, it'll take me a longer time. Alexa, what is the definition of endearing?
The adjective enduring is usually defined as lasting, permanent. For more,
Alexa, what is the definition of endearing?
The adjective enduring is usually defined as lasting.
Alexa, what is the definition of endearing spelled Endearing?
From thesaurus.net. Endears means to cause someone to feel loved or cherished.
Is that the right word you're using, Omizu? To endear means to feel loved or cherished. So you feel endeared, you feel loved or cherished by the fact that I feel like this could take a day. I don't know. I don't really know what endearing means, so I had to ask Alexa, and I'm not sure if that's the word you're meaning. I saw a really nice mural the other day. Oh. Find that believing this could be painted in a day inspires love or affection. Aw. Omizu's so filled with love and affection. What a great feeling to have. Rome was built in a day, people. I think it's a myth that Rome took centuries. It was definitely built in a day. Debate me, prove me wrong. See, no one can actually debate that because it's insanity, right? It is insanity. Have you ever tried to argue with insanity? People that literally have no clue. If you have, it's like, don't even waste your time, right? Don't waste time trying to argue with insanity. You know what? I gotta say, I've never done a mural before. The basement of a school? Ambitious. That's very ambitious. Doing art is endearing. Ah, I see. Thank you. Doing art is endearing. Yeah, I can agree that doing art definitely can inspire love and affection. I can see that. I mean, it could be satisfaction. Again, I was trying to figure out what Omizu meant by endearing. Like I don't like I'm still, you know, confused as to why thinking this would take a day would inspire love and affection. But hey, you know what? Let me not question Omizu. Omizu has never steered me wrong, ever. So therefore, whatever Omizu says, we should write down and treat it as if it was. It was. I'm kidding. By the way, people, don't do that, please. I'm not even kidding. I just say random stuff throughout this live stream. And just hope that people don't take anything I say like seriously. Seriously. Oh, okay. See, all right, there we go. So, Omizu loves when you can approach something with full abandon and confidence that you can accomplish something that others may seem as way in over their head. Oh, I see. All right. You know what is interesting though is what some people find endearing, others consider naive. But good to know that Omizu finds it as like, you know, at minimum amusing. This finger's a little too long. This finger seems to be okay. Yeah, the pinky is a little large. That's exact. I totally agree with that. 4-day weekend. Let's go camping and paint. Four-day weekend. You know, I actually have to work a lot this weekend, so I'm actually spending today to paint. I'm actually working this weekend. So I'm spending today to paint, and then, you know, I probably will have to take a break for a couple days. I'm trying to figure out what color should go here, because in the original painting it's red and gold. I'm trying to think if I should go with red, the same color, or whether I should try to go for like something a little different. So they went with red on black, red and gold on black. So what would be the equivalent of red and gold on black, but except on purple? Red and black go very well together. Red and yellow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, red, orange, yellow, red, yellow, black. Red, yellow, black. So purple would be like, let's just try the other color. Red, yellow, black, blue, green, blue, gold, purple. Let's try that. Let's try blue and gold. No, I've got this great cerulean, or no, turquoise color right here. So let's try to go for our turquoise. And honestly, I think this hand is coming up a bit too far. Michael Wilbur, by the way, what's up, man? Almost forgot to say hi to Michael Wilbur. Michael Wilbur, the goat of wherever he lives. I don't know where Michael Wilbur lives, but he's a goat of something. We're all goats of something, right? We're all great. We're all very capable. We're all humans, right? Every human is just so capable of so many great things. And we could all be, every human could be the goat of something, right? The greatest of all time of something. Maybe it's not artwork, maybe it's not sports, maybe it's not like, you know, something that you really, really want, like I don't know, maybe it's not always going to be that thing that you really, really want, but we can all be the goat at something. So there's a little bit of like practical inspiration for everybody. We can all be really good at something. Even if it's not that thing that you want. It could be something useless, like trivia. Unless you're planning to go on, like, Jeopardy, right? If you're good at trivia, your only chance of fame in life is pretty much Jeopardy. Or if you start your own, like, trivia channel. Which I think that's an opportunity nowadays. And let's just all celebrate that Michael Wilbur was here. I feel like that would be... We should enjoy the fact that we have all been graced with the presence of Michael Wilbur. Michael Wilbur the GOAT. You feel that you lose hope on people. Yeah, I mean, you lose hope, have more hope. Too much sadness to add with pettiness. Hopeful. Am I putting a Fitbit? Love trivia. You had an MW sighting? Oh, Michael Wilbur, yes. MW. All right, let me try and... Not try, we just are going to do... I have cat hair in my mouth. We're going to reduce the size of this pinky here. This pinky needs to go cut off right about here. We're going to improve that shape later, but... No, we need a very subtle transition. Do I have long thumbs? No, not really. My thumbs, but like, look at the reference though. The reference actually looks like this. But look. I don't know. It's actually not that far off, right? Like, let me show the reference again. And y'all can see just how unusually long these thumbs look. Obviously, here's my reference photo, right? Like, doesn't that thumb just look like ridiculously long? And I think it's because part of my palm is hidden. I didn't edit this, by the way. This is an unedited photo. You know, I don't... Like, that's just an unusually long thumb. Right? It's just... That's just the way it looks. So, it's not wrong. It's actually pretty accurate. Amiza's accusing me of AI. Yes. This is how you tell if it's AI, if the fingers are slightly off. All right, you know what? I need to take a... Well, let's put this brush away. I need to take a little break now. My brain's got to work in phases. And we finished the phase. Finished a nice little phase here. The phase of tightening up some of the broader colors, the bigger major areas. That's one phase. That's phase 2. And we're going to take a little break. Or a big break. I don't have a TV anymore. When I had a TV, I always had an excuse to not come back and paint. But at some point tonight, I'm going to be sitting around and I'm going to be like, you know what? I can't watch TV. I can't play my PS5. I'm a PlayStation guy. So I should just paint. Artist Intelligente. So I'm gonna wrap up in a second. Might be done by the time you get back, Shirohiro. 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 Let me just share my cat one more time. Come here, princess. Come here, little Pookie. Come here, little baby girl. Come here, princess, little Pookie, baby girl. Yes, you're heavy now. So heavy. My baby girl. With her little jaundiced eyes. Look at a little bow tie. Anybody see the bow tie on her neck? Got a little bow tie. Got a little necktie. All right, here you go. All right, we're out of here. Take care, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around and watching. Thanks for engaging everybody together in conversation. I'm great. Just love that everybody's super friends. We're all super friends, right? All right, take care, y'all.